All right, hey, it's been a long day, hasn't it? Are you ready for bed? Look, I brought your hot milk and honey just the way you like it. And I pulled out the giant book of continuous improvement bedtime stories. And I'm going to share a story tonight called Audrey and the Magic Cookbook. You ready? Once upon a time, there was a brave young manager named Brian. He was working with a small company that was going through growing pains. The valiant employees were trying to do the work of double the people, all the while trying to hire and train a whole new workforce. One of the biggest challenges they faced was process documentation. You see, their documents were almost 100% text-based with no pictures or visual support. As a result, employees grew bored with so much reading, and compliance often failed to meet required standards. So the general manager wanted Brian to update their documentation with pictures and illustrations that would explain detailed procedures. "A picture is worth 1,000 words, after all," he would say. So Brian looked far and wide, investigating software packages and interviewing prospective candidates throughout the land. But alas, he could find no one with the skills, creativity, or enthusiasm to meet the challenge. What was he going to do? One day, a quiet yet committed employee named Audrey approached Brian. "I think I know what you're looking for," she said. "Could I show you something first thing tomorrow morning?" "Absolutely," Brian uttered, puzzled by what Audrey might bring. The next morning, Brian went to the main conference room to meet Audrey, and on the table were 6 colorful books. Brian picked up the first one and examined the cover. It was a beautiful cookbook, and the author was none other than Audrey herself. She saw his surprise and said, "For the past 6 years, I've been organizing these books for my local church, collecting recipes and helping the ladies of the congregation to not only create step-by-step instructions, but to also take beautiful pictures to enhance the recipes." Brian was speechless. But the greatest shock was yet to come as Audrey offered that she would like to do this task for the company, almost as if it were a hobby. Now, it's important at this point in the story to remind ourselves that one of the main forms of waste in the world of continuous improvement is hidden or underutilized talent. How well do you know the employees in your organization, your friends and coworkers, your immediate teammates? How many of these people do amazing things in their personal lives about which you have little to no clue? Among us are artists, authors, coaches, parents, teachers, people who manage budgets, family schedules, and projects, people who volunteer and utilize mass amounts of creativity and commitment, and yet much of that talent still remains outside the walls of the company in which we work. Audrey was just one employee, and here she was, demonstrating the potential for the very position we were struggling to hire. After discussions with the management team, we decided to invest time and resources to put Audrey into this important role. And she responded by enthusiastically accepting the challenge, learning new technologies such as graphic design software and digital photography. Not a year later, Audrey was almost like a new employee, doing things no one could have envisioned. New and existing employees commented on how the new documentation was easier to follow and helped them learn more quickly. Process quality was way up, and far fewer mistakes were made because workers were more inclined to actually read the documents, especially if they did a task infrequently or were cross-training in a new area. Audrey's talents made a huge difference, and they all lived happily ever after. Isn't that a great story? All right, you get some sleep. See you tomorrow.